few minutes about something that is happening with regards to the United States. Now, I know that I don't normally talk about, things like this. I normally talk about more about astrological events that affect you on a personal level because that's the thing that's most important to me. However, this particular event, I feel like, is very impactful for the collective here in the United States, specifically in the United States. And it is something that the United States has never experienced before. This is going to be the first time that this has happened. However, this event has happened across the world in different parts of the world, but because the United States is considered a very young country, we are considered very young. We're actually only about 244-ish years old compared to other countries. We are a baby. So this event has actually happened to other countries several times. And I had done a little light research on some of the things that had happened to different countries at this particular time when they experienced this event. And I do believe this is something that's going to be life-changing on a collective level and a personal level. And it is going to change the dynamic and the structure of the United States in a very impactful way. So I would want to share this information, not to scare anyone, but for people to be prepared for some changes that they may have never experienced before and seen before. So the thing that I'm talking about is it's called the Pluto Return. So of course in astrology, the planets play a part in what type of events that we experience. And just like with a person, the United States has a birth date. And the birth date for the United States, of course, is July the 4th, 1776. That's the day in which our country was born. And I use the time of 5:10 p.m. in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, because that is allegedly a time in which the Declaration of Independence was signed. And so that would be the birth time of our nation. So you can make an astrological chart like you would for a person for an event. And so this is the event that is happening. It is the Pluto return of the birth of our nation. So Pluto is the planet that is the furthest planet out from the Earth. So it's way out there. So Pluto's orbit, or Pluto's trek around the sun or the solar system, takes a very, very long time. And in astrology, of course, we get the snapshot of where all the planets were at the time of your birth. And at any given time, hey, Kimberly, any given time, the planets will come back to their original position that they were at the time of your birth. So in the United States, in the case of the United States, born on July 4th, 1776 at 5:10 p.m., the planet Pluto was in the second house at the time of our country's birth. And the second house governs money, our banking systems, our debt, our money, our resources, our material possessions, our debt, how we handle money. Things of that nature are in the second house. The value that we place on money, the value that we place on ourselves. So Pluto takes about 244 years, give or take, to make a full orbit around your birth chart. Pluto is in the exact same place that it was at the time of our nation's birth. So what is happening now is the United States is experiencing its first Pluto return in 244 years. Now, keep in mind other nations that are much older than us, that were established eons and eons and eons before the United States, has had this experience multiple times. And one of the most significant things that we use as an example is the Roman Empire. The Roman Empire is the oldest nation in the world. And about the first or second of its Pluto return, the Roman Empire began to crumble. Okay, it lost its power, and it crumbled under subsequent Pluto returns. And so what we're talking about now is what we may experience here, particularly in the next 2 to 5 years with regards to the United States. Pluto is exactly where it was when this nation was born. This is all about our banking systems. This is all about our monies. In a nutshell, the prediction that I have of what's going to happen is the United States will experience some type of turmoil with regards to money, with regards to our banking system, with regards to our government, with regards to the value of the US dollar may decline and may not be worth anything. Our banking structures could start to crumble. And to be honest with you, we've been seeing indicators of that over the last several years. You think about your banks that are going bankrupt, that went bankrupt. You think about the issues you've had with certain banking institutions with regards to fraud and things of that nature. You think about our development of new ways of doing banking, particularly banking that is online, going to those types of structures, things of that nature. The dollar value fluctuating over the last few years. So just looking at that, I feel like the United States is going to go through a financial crisis. We are no longer the powerhouse that we were for the last several years. You know, we have dubbed ourselves as the greatest nation on earth, in the world, and we have steadily been losing that power. And I do believe now with this Pluto return, we may actually go through another depression. We had the Great Depression back in the 20s, 30s, or whatever that was. We actually may experience that again here in the United States. Now, I know that is, most people could not imagine that happening. But with this type of event, this type of energy, that could very well be what we experience is the second Great Depression of the United States. Your money is not protected in these financial institutions, in these banking institutions. We may go through the experience of our banking institutions crumbling. And if you have substantial amount of monies tied up in a banking institution, you're going to probably lose that money. Now, I'm not saying that is for certain, but those are the types of things that could come up here in the next 2 to 5 years. Well, actually, anywhere between now and the next 5 years. Again, the US dollar not being worth anything. Stocks, bonds, the stock market crashing, all those types of things. Anything that ties in with our financial stability as a nation probably will ultimately be pulled from under us. This is going to be a period where monies that we owe other nations and other countries, they're going to want their money. And we're probably going to go through, again, a Great Depression or an economical banking financial collapse. So I am not a financial guru. So I have no clue what to tell anyone by way of protecting yourself financially. Crazy enough, I was talking to my daughter yesterday, and she's been having issues with money disappearing out of her bank account, just mysteriously disappearing. I don't know if anyone else has been experiencing that, but for me, those are indicators of what could possibly be happening. Okay, Kim, I'm gonna get you. Oh, what was that? So I have somebody wants to come on my live. I've never had that before. Let me see if I know how to do this. All right. Says so yeah. Yeah, she was saying that mysteriously money has been coming out of her account. She was talking about her Cash App. Money was mysteriously taken out of her Cash App. Which is really, really crazy. We had some issues with regards to bills that were paid, and then they say they weren't paid. Just a lot of things with regards to money. So it would behoove you to try to protect your assets. Here, I don't know how to do that. If you're invested in the stock market heavily, you may want to start taking a look at pulling your monies out of the stock market, pulling your monies out of the bank, finding more ways to protect yourself financially. Things of that nature. But again, this could also bode for our country going to war. This could definitely bode for our country going to war at some point. And I know because we have never experienced anything like that on U.S. soil. This would just seems like something that I'm just making up, or this sounds really, really crazy. But this is some things that we have to think about, because if we really sat and thought about it, it's not like we haven't gotten indicators of this happening, or this, brewing, or could be a possibility. Now, because it's Pluto is the planet of transformation. It is the planet of death and rebirth. So even though we may have an economical collapse, the collapse is something that is coming in to destroy how we do things now, because we can no longer sustain ourselves with the way that we do things with regards to our finances as a nation. But this is the opportunity to rebuild this on a different foundation. I look at it more as the great equalizer, whereas giving everyone a fair, clean foundation to rebuild on. So no longer having these classes like you're super wealthy, or you're rich, you're middle class, you're lower middle class, all these different classes that we have here in the United States that are made up with regards to how much money you're worth, or you have, or how many possessions that you have, equaling out the playing field. I don't think that we're going to have these millionaire and basically billionaires anymore. Will there be people that are doing well, better than others? That's something that will naturally happen. However, I don't think the United States is no longer going to have these ultra rich, wealthy people that are just so out of contact with the common person. Everybody's going to be pretty much on the same playing field, and this will be your opportunity to rebuild and to build generational wealth for yourself, um, to start a foundation for yourself, to start a legacy for your family, given the opportunity that we're all going to have the opportunity to start over. But is it going to look ugly? Is it going to be devastating? Is it going to be scary? Absolutely. Absolutely. Again, because we've never experienced anything like this before. Um, but again, Pluto is the planet of rebirth. So it's the dying off of how we do things, especially because this is the area that governs our value system. You have to admit that the United States is a greedy, greedy country. We are all about consuming more and more. We are a greedy nation. We we have a culture of never being satisfied. We have a culture of always wanting more. We have a culture of grinding, grinding, work, 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 work. I need to get, I want. And even with all the things that we accomplish in the financial realm, and all the successes we have with money and acquiring things, we are the most bankrupt nation with regards to our spirituality, our human decency, how we care for others, how we treat other people. We are a morally bankrupt nation, and we are a greedy nation. And this is like that saying, chickens coming home to roost. Yeah, the United States, chickens about to come home to roost for all of us. So it's a way of changing our value system and what we, 444, and what we value and what we put importance on, and stripping us down to nothing. And yeah, stripping us down to nothing, for us to really, really take a look at ourselves and how we go about life and how we govern our life and what's important. Because you really find out who a person is when they get money and when they don't have money. When they have resources and then they don't have resources. You really get to see what this person is truly made of. People love to say, especially people that are really, really wealthy, they love to say, oh, money doesn't change me, I'm still the same person. That's bullshit. And this whole event that we're going to experience over the next few years is really going to hold people's feet to the fire on whether or not you really, really stand on that. When you are someone that's used to having millions and billions of dollars and all these resources and all this financial protection and all this legacy, you've always had that to fall back on. What happens when it's no longer there? What happens when you lose all of that and now you are just like every other person, every other common person in the world? And that is what is going to be taught to us over this next 5 years. So this is definitely the opportunity to rebuild. They will not know what to do with themselves. They will not. Now, do I think people on the bottom will fare a little bit better during this transition? Yes, because these are the people that have had to learn to live with less and be happy with that. So their fall from financial grace or fall from grace won't be as far as people that have been on the top for so very long and who's taken advantage of the blessings that were bestowed on them in a financial way. So yeah, the little guy will fare a little bit better, but we're all going to feel this. So just be mindful. Just think back on, what type of experiences or things that have been going on in your life with regards to your finances and money and resources. I know I was trying to dabble in the stock market this last year or so. And first, emotionally, I can't take that because I don't like see my money just going, you on top one day and then all of a sudden you log on and the next day and all your money gone. So I'm not good with the stock market. But I'm always one that I probably would never make my fortune in the stock market because I'm not willing to put a lot of money into it. You got to put a lot of money into that to get a big return. So that would have never been my thing anyway. But I'm good with money management. I'm good with taking what I have and building on that and using that in a smart way. The United States is not as financially smart as we would like for other people to believe. So I say this to say, protect yourself financially, build you a nice nest egg. Don't trust your banking systems too much. Um, if you are someone that is fortunate enough to have a substantial amount of money, I would tell you to spread it around into different financial institutions. Don't have all your assets and resources locked into one financial institution, because I'm telling you, I know for a fact banking systems probably are going to collapse. I definitely see that coming. Banking systems collapsing, and when a bank collapses, your money collapses too. So if you got everything you own and every penny that you have is in a bank, I don't know. I don't know what to tell you. We may have to go back to the days when, our grandparents and great grandparents would keep money in a mattress. That was like the safest place to keep it, because to be honestly, your money ain't making no money in that bank. Your money is only making money for the bank. It ain't making no money for you. So protecting yourself with regards to your finances is going to be very important. We may experience our first, well, this wouldn't be our first. Well, yes, it would. We may experience a war here on U.S. soil. We could definitely be experiencing allies that we have across the country possibly turning on us, or calling in any type of debt or monies that we owe to any of these foreign countries. And we may experience a depression, just a financial depression here. So I just wanted to share that. I didn't want to be doom and gloom, but I always try to look at it as a positive. This is an opportunity again for us to start over and get our values together and what's important and what's not important. So protect yourself financially. I've been praying so hard that we don't go to war. Well, keep that in your prayers, but that could be a possibility. It could be a possibility. It could be. And I don't know. I can't predict the future. I just look at what goes on in these stars and these planets and how they move around, and that kind of stuck out to me. And it is very important. So we'll see. We'll see. Does anybody else have anything they want to try to hold you guys along? I just wanted to come over here and talk about the United States and where we could potentially be headed in the next few years. No, I'm not reading to the signs today. I'm not reading today. But if you're interested in the reading, go to my website. The website is, I'm going to put it in the comments. Is that it? Yeah. Go and check it out. And because when I do these here on the live, I'm doing like the general readings. But if you wanted to, like I said, if you wanted to get something personal and you wanted to get in depth about your personal astrology, which is going to tell you just specifically about you, then you need to schedule a reading with me. And that's the website. So just go click on there, look around, see if there's anything that what interests you. I do all kinds of readings, love readings, career readings. The most popular reading that I do is the spiritual reading. And that one is popular because it will cover various areas of your life. So that's the one where it will cover like your love life, your money, your career, your health, stuff like that. And we sit and we talk about what's happening with you now and what could be coming up for you in the next 3 to 6 months, and how you can use the energy to help you along with that. Yeah. So go on there and see if you want to schedule something with me. Outside of that, I pop on here every now and again, just to talk, share some stuff. I'll be at the